the funny thing is when Augustine said, "Okay, Bernadette Speaks is coming to speak to the actor writer group," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, Bernadette Speaks," because remember at the time you were Bernadette Clark, so I
Right,
didn't
right,
I didn't
right.
make any kind of connection. Then I saw you, and I think
I had my braids and yeah,
yeah. So I was
this is
looking.
what I had in the movie. So it was like,
Right.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm turning, I'm looking, I recognize her. And then Augustine told me, and I was squealing like a girl in the background. And so Augustine has been on this podcast. And when I told Michael was like, please, got to get her on. I'm like, okay, let me.
Aw.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you
Mhm.
guys so much for having me on. This is
Oh,
fun.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Look, I mean, and it's not as though, everything revolves around one thing, but I can still remember walking out of the theater that day like, wow. I remember who I was with. I remember holding her hand to the movie. I just remember everything, every detail about it. My
Yeah.
goodness.
That's
There's
what
a
I hear a
film.
lot of. I
There's
hear
a
lot of
film
people-
called Diner. I don't know if you're familiar with it. There's a film, I think it's the 70s, called Diner. And in the film, one of the guys is getting married, and he gives his fiance a test where she has to know so much sports trivia, his friends, for them to be compatible.
Okay.
So one of the first things, I swear to goodness, one of the first things I do with anybody I meet or date or anything, at some point early on, I ask them, have you seen Love Jones? And if the answer is yes, I know, like, oh, okay, cool. If the answer is no, I'm like, ooh, hey, I have it. Let's watch it, And we watch it, and I kind of gauge their reaction to the movie, and then I know like how to proceed.
Okay.
It's a litmus test.
What in
Oh.
the world, Michael?
It's the truth. Truth will set
Well,
you
a
free.
funny story. Okay, so funny story. When I met my husband, his ex-girlfriend went to Hampton, and she is the reason we met. So he thought he was going to move to California to date her, but she ended up introducing us, right? So the first thing he says to me is, he goes, "Oh, so you was in soul food?" And I was like,
Ooh.
I was like, no. He was like, "Yes, you were." I was like, "No, I wasn't." He was like, "Okay, whatever." Oh, okay. I said, "Okay, all right. Well, it was really nice to meet you." He goes, "Well, wait a second. Well, what movie were you in?" And I said, I was in this movie called Love Jones. And he goes, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, yeah, that's what I meant." That's not what you said.
How did y'all end up married? He must have did something. He must have did something spectacular.
I'm just saying, compatibility don't always happen at the beginning.